I'm staying. We're about to get in front of somebody. Is that one?
Oh, yep. Wouldn't be a video without you almost running into me.
Yeah.
Roger, Band. This is Anzac 173. You are cleared on 1 Kilo 2 Alpha on these two individuals, CID.
That was quite a bit of fire there.
Hey everybody, Casmo here, just heading out to the aircraft. Today we're going to continue our Team Tactics 101 series with a deliberate attack against an enemy artillery position. If you like this series of videos, go ahead and do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button down there, and leave a comment for some other topics you'd like to see us cover. Alright, let's get on with it. Alright guys, so here's the game plan. We're going to be conducting a deliberate attack, a deep attack onto this artillery site that's off to the east, several miles. We're going to take a longer route that's going to kind of avoid some enemy contact. We expect that, there would be, the forward line of troops essentially here. So we'd have friendly forces here, enemy forces here. I just didn't model them. It didn't serve any purpose for the game. But we did create this route to sort of avoid all that and use terrain masking as long as possible. And you can see here we've got this trigger, right? So RD fire is what it's called, very original. And we've got this friendly artillery that's forward, and what they're going to do is they're going to fire on this templated enemy position. So you'll hear the term SEAD and DEAD. We get very hung up on air defense, but what if it's just a guy with a radio, right? And he's letting someone else know that, hey, there's multiple aircraft moving through this cut through the terrain, they're moving through this valley or whatever. That could trigger a response that we don't want. So don't get too hung up on this has to be some sort of air defense vehicle. It could be part of the the greater IADS integrated air defense system, the greater network. It's just a dude with a radio, so that could be a problem. So we've got some artillery that's staged to suppress or hopefully destroy them as we continue our route up to engage the target. Alright, so this is our target array. Like I said, it's an artillery position, so we've got 6 artillery assets here. We've got a bunch of support vehicles parked out in the tree line behind them, and then it's got some short-range air defense here, some SA-9s that are defending it. Now, for a deliberate attack like this, we would know this, right? We would have at least a general understanding of what the target was, the nature of the target, and its basic position on the battlefield. We may not know the exact array, we may not know this guy's 10-digit grid coordinates, but we have an understanding of what's here and the terrain that's around it, so we're going to use that to build our plan. So when we get here, really the question is, how do we engage this target to limit our exposure, to maximize our effectiveness, and to basically just get it done quick and get out of town? So there's several considerations that we're going to have, and we're just going to kind of pick on a couple of them. But the first one is just, efficiency, right? So what we don't want is multiple aircraft engaging the same target. That's going to limit our efficiency. It's going to increase our time and our exposure on the target area, and we just don't want that, right? The enemy's going to have a reaction. He's going to have a vote eventually, and he's going to decide to do something about it. So we want to maximize our time on station, hit 4 targets with 4 shots, and then move on to the next 4 shots and hit 4 more targets. Another consideration, probably the most obvious, is that you want to engage the most dangerous targets first, right? So if we're aircraft engaging this target array, obviously the first targets that we want to get rid of are these air defense. Now these are the most dangerous to us. They're not necessarily the most dangerous to the, the greater operational plan. That would definitely be this artillery, and that's why we're here. But of course, if we don't kill these guys first and we start plinking away at this stuff, these guys may have a shot on us, and then it just kind of eliminates us. So it kind of goes without saying that you want to engage the most dangerous targets first. And then you may have some unit SOPs, some standard operating procedures about what types of targets you're also going to engage. So we do have a command vehicle that's back here. That may be the secondary target. Is we got to make sure that we eliminate the command vehicle, because if these guys can't communicate, if they can't get orders, well, then we have taken them out of the fight. So you want to use the appropriate weapon system for the appropriate target. So if we're close enough that we can use gun, we don't want to waste missiles on these light-skinned trucks. Contrarily, we don't want to use our gun on heavier vehicles that we may not be able to punch through the armor, or it may take us longer than just shooting a missile. So just making sure you're using the right weapon system for the right target. Alright, so how do we distribute our fires? How do we actually control the rate, the tempo, and the targetry that we're engaging? So there's really 3 basic ways of doing this, and the first one is the frontal array. So in this situation, it's a great example of the frontal array. We're all facing off with a lateral target, right? So the frontal array kind of describes it as the guy on the left, he's going to shoot the target on the left. The guy on the right, he's going to shoot the target on the right, and then they're going to work inward from that. So you can see very easily with 2 vehicles, that's great and easy and wonderful. What about these two guys? Well, you still got to give them kind of a start point, right? So you could give this guy, okay, well, you're going to shoot this one, and then you're going to, work your way that way, and you're going to shoot this one, and you're going to work your way that way. So, however you're going to control them. But that's the basic premise of the frontal, is that you're in a line and you're shooting another line of targets. The second method is the cross, and this kind of assumes that there's some terrain or some other considerations that they're preventing you from doing a frontal, like we just discussed. So we've got, again, the lateral targets, but let's say for whatever reason this guy, he can't shoot over here, but he can shoot over here. And then same for this guy, so he's going to shoot over here. So now you can see that we've kind of got this cross pattern. You could use this if the target array is such that it's enabling you to get flank shots, right? So we talked about, the right weapon system on the right target. We may not be able to punch through the tank that we're trying to shoot at through the front, but maybe we can get a side shot. So if we do this cross pattern, maybe we can get to it. Just kind of depends on the target array, how much space you have, the weapon systems you have. Now the last fire pattern that you're going to use is depth, and this is a great example of really kind of being able to mix all of them together. So we do have a frontal, but we've got sort of different layers of the enemy. So what you're going to see us do in the video is essentially try to set up a frontal pattern that starts with the outside guys, right, to engage not only the left and right targets, but also prioritizing them as the air defense. So we want to remove them first. But then for the center guys, like we said, there's kind of a problem of which direction do you go. So we added some depth, right? So one ship is going to engage targets in the middle of the close array, and the other guy is going to shoot the middle of the far array, and they're just kind of work in different directions, right? So this guy's going to hit here, and then he's going to move this way. This guy's going to hit here. He's going to move this way. This guy's hitting here, and this guy's hitting here. These guys aren't going anywhere, and they're quite frankly a low priority target, so I'm not too worried about a few of them getting away. We've got time, but you can see that you're going to be able to hit your priority targets and kind of move through them rapidly without worrying too much about overlapping fire and hitting the same target twice. Now you will see some situations where that comes into play, and quite frankly, there's no way to avoid that. I don't think there's any way to avoid that without being incredibly deliberate in your plan and saying, okay, Chalk 2, you're going to engage this target, and this target, and then that's it. That's all you're going to do, right? So if you're basically capturing each one of these targets and then sending them to your wingman and saying, these are the only ones you're going to shoot, that's the only way to avoid some sort of overlapping fields of fire, which you don't want to do because, let's say this aircraft has a malfunction and he can't get a missile off the rail. You don't want everyone waiting around to figure that out. You want people to just continue to shoot. So you're going to have some overlap, and that's okay. Now, how we share this target array is almost as important as the actual execution of it. So how do you let your wingmen know what you want them to shoot at? So there's different techniques. You're going to see us, basically hit the easy button. We're going to use the digital technique. And depending on the type of aircraft that you fly, either DCS or real life, they're going to have different techniques. With the KA-50 that we're going to be using, of course, I can mark a target and share that with somebody, and they can slew right to it. If you've got a more advanced aircraft like an Apache, you can literally build kind of a box and put certain targets in these boxes and then transmit so that this guy gets this box and he knows that everything in that box is his. And you can actually see it, on the screen, and he'll know that he's engaging the right area. Or, you can actually make the place somewhat invisible to the radar, like if you're using, longbow radar and stuff. So he really is only going to focus on stuff inside this box. Now, if you don't have all this fancy equipment and you're just kind of doing this just visually, well, then you just got to establish some target reference points. And it's going to take a little bit longer, and it's going to take a lot more communication and probably a lot more time observing. But you need to just find a point of reference, right? So a technique could be that you identify a very easily identified vehicle, right? So you could say, all right, do you see the 6 artillery pieces? Everyone acknowledges yes. Okay, do you see the third one from the left? Yes, we do. Okay, that is TRP1, right? So we established that that's TRP1. Okay, does everybody see the SA9 on the left? Yes, we do. Okay, so that's TRP2. Does everybody see the SA9 on the right? Yes, that's TRP3. Okay, gun 2, you're going to gauge from TRP2 and work inward. Gun 4, you're going to work from TRP3 and work inward. Gun to, I've lost track, but you're going to gauge the deep targets by TRP4 and kind of work it out that way. Another way, if you can't get everyone to kind of visualize the same spot, it could just be as simple as, hey, I'm going to fire the first missile, and what you see me hit is going to be TRP1, and then I want, you know, gun 2 to work from TRP1 out to the left, gun 3 you're going to work for TRP1 to the right. All right, so lead fires his missile, hits the target, that immediately establishes it as a TRP, and these guys start working out as briefed, right? Okay, so different ways to kind of do that. Like I said, this one's a lot longer, takes a lot more communication, and of course the thing you got to consider is while you're kind of sitting around working all this stuff out, the enemy may see you and they may have some sort of reaction to you. So as much as of this that you can brief prior to arrival on the target, of course, is the best plan. All right, so let's take a look at it in action. One's up. Alright, it's going to be a left turn, follow this river.
About 530, about 500 meters.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be coming right around this hilltop here. Alright, start slowing. We're gonna stop at this tree line right off my nose. The set left, stack right.
Copy.
Alright, as briefed, I'm going to bound forward to the next tree line. You guys hold up here.
2, set.
Lower gear. Lower gear.
Reset. Show us it.
Alright, I have target area in sight.
Yeah, I'm going to bound forward just a little bit to close the distance between me and 1, and just to get, we're still in this bowl here, so it should still be covered. 3, copy. Sure, copy.
Alright, I've identified 2 SA-9s. Looks like 6 artillery pieces. Alright, stand by, I'll send you guys targets. Alright, understand 2 is already bounded
Lower
forward.
gear.
Break.
Lower
3 and
gear.
4, continue forward. 3 stack on my left, and 4 stack on the right. 2. Check now.
Stem.
4, check now. Two, check mail.
Got target. 3 tiger, sorry, 4 tiger received.
Copy. Okay, 3 and 4, you both have an SA-9. 3, yours is on the left, 4, yours is on the right. Break. Those are your priority targets, and then start working to the left and right, respectively. Bring it in. Break. 2, you've got the far targets, I've got the close targets. I think your first target is the command vehicle. Just kind of work all those support trucks vicinity of that command vehicle.
2, roger. 3's ready. 4's ready.
Copy. Alright, 3 and 4, go ahead and engage.
2's ready.
Copy. 2, go ahead and engage. 1's rifle.
Three shack.
1's rifle.
Shack. 3 rifle.
Yeah, one's engaging artillery.
3 shack.
Alright, confirm no other targets.
2's looking, I don't